Colleagues on the Democrat side, they cannot stand Donald J. Trump, so much so that the fact that they are standing up, we are right now standing up to Iran, engaged in a military conflict that I think is the single most consequential decision of President Trump's presidency, has driven virtually every Democrat nuts.
This is how war rhetoric gets challenged in real time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last week, during the congressional recess, President Donald Trump leveled an unconstitutional threat against Iran and its 90 million residents. The president threatened that, quote, a whole civilization will die tonight, and spoke openly about destroying key civilian infrastructure and unleashing devastation across Iran. This rhetoric is not strength or leadership. It is an anti-American statement that betrays our values and undermines the moral standing of the United States. Every member of Congress, including every member of this committee, has a moral obligation to reject this unconscionable rhetoric. My amendment would do just that. It condemns President Trump's threat in the strongest possible terms as morally repugnant. You cannot publicly say in the name of the American people that a whole civilization will die tonight. It is repugnant to and contrary to the values of the people of the United States and unbecoming to the office of the president. So I recognize that this type of amendment is not typically within the jurisdiction of the Senate Commerce Committee, but when the president makes appalling threats against 90 million people, this committee should not act as if it's business as usual. At a bare minimum, we must unequivocally condemn these threats. If we fail to speak out against rhetoric that casually invokes the annihilation of tens of millions of civilians, then we are abandoning the very principles we claim to defend. So I urge my colleagues to support my amendment.
Okay.
Well, thank you, Senator Markey. You rightly noted that this amendment is not within the jurisdiction of this committee. I will also observe that this modified amendment was not timely filed. It is not a technical correction to a filed amendment. In the original Markey 3 was an immigration amendment. Now it is an Iran amendment. And look, let me say on the substance, and we're going to vote on your amendment momentarily. On the substance, it used to be the case that politics ended at the water's edge. That when we were in a military conflict, Democrats and Republicans would fight like cats and dogs, but we'd say, you know what, we all stand together behind the servicemen and women who are fighting for America. We stand for our national security. I will say, unfortunately, that's not the world we live in.
Not anymore, no.
Our colleagues on the Democrat side, they cannot stand Donald J. Trump, so much so that the fact that they are standing up, we are right now standing up to Iran, engaged in a military conflict that I think is the single most consequential decision of President Trump's presidency, has driven virtually every Democrat nuts. That's unfortunate. Senator Markey said, I forget his exact language, but something to the effect of it's unconscionable to call for the death of a civilization. Well, for 47 years, the Ayatollah has screamed death to America and has led mobs chanting death to America. The Ayatollah has been waging, there have been now multiple Ayatollahs, have been waging
the same thing,
war against the
back to
United
back.
States for 47 years. The Islamic Revolution began by seizing our embassy in Iran, holding our hostages there for 444 days. The Iranian regime is the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Hamas, which committed the horrific October 7th atrocities, 90%, more than 90% of Hamas's funding comes from Iran. More than 90% of Hezbollah's funding comes from Iran. More than 90% of Houthis' funding come from Iran. Iran has killed nearly 1,000 Americans. And so I'm grateful that the president as commander-in-chief is standing up to a theocratic regime that has been murdering Americans for nearly 50 years and is unequivocal in its stated desire to continue murdering Americans. And so I recognize there are genuine and heartfelt disagreements on this. But I wish we were living in a world where both sides would stand together and say, we're going to keep our partisan disagreements here at home. We're going to stand together united when servicemen and women are risking their lives. Unfortunately, that's not where we are.
If you guys saw the State of the Union, like, you guys should understand exactly how much of an issue we have in the United States of America with two sides of the coin here, basically, right? Arguing consistently over ideology and nothing more than that, let's just say this here. One side seems to be incredibly, incredibly American, all right? And the other side seems to just be almost the opposite of it. It seems like anything that America basically represents or has represented forever, let's just say this here, is now deemed as a existential crisis here. And of course, because Donald J. Trump, right, is in office here, and they hate Donald J. Trump here, right? Anything that he does, even if it's to the benefit of the United States of America, they see it as it being to the detriment of the United States of America. That's it here. Iran has been a problem for us for nearly 50 years, okay? They have been. We have lost lives due to them. Being called a state sponsor of terror is also not something to be considered, not to be taken lightly here, bro. All right? That is the reality in that region there. Like, if we were closer to them, we would be feeling more of them.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Thune,
No by proxy.
Mr. Wicker,
No by proxy.
Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Moran, Mr. Sullivan, Mrs. Blackburn, Mr. Young, Mr. Budd, Mr. Schmidt,
No by proxy.
Mr. Curtis, Mr. Moreno, Mr. Sheehy, Mrs. Capito, Ms. Lummis, Ms. Cantwell,
Aye.
Ms. Klobuchar, Mr. Schatz,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Markey,
Aye.
Mr. Peters,
Aye.
Ms. Baldwin,
Aye.
Ms. Duckworth, Ms. Rosen, Mr. Lujan,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Hickenlooper,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Fetterman,
No by proxy.
Mr. Kim,
Aye by proxy.
Ms. Blunt Rochester,
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Cruz.
No.
The noes are 16, the yeses are 12.
The amendment is not agreed to. If there's no further discussion on the substantive bill, the question is on Senator Cantwell's motion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. The motion is agreed to, and the bill is ordered to be reported favorably. I once again recognize
Mr.
Ranking
Chairman,
Member.
could I be recorded no on that, please?
On the bill? Sure. Senator Markey will be recorded as a no. With that, I'll recognize Ranking Member Cantwell for an additional motion.
If you've ever wondered why we can legitimately not move forward, bro, everything seems to be like almost legitimately down party lines here. Of course we were not going to agree. Of course there was going to be no agreement here. The only oddball is Fetterman, and of course it's the oddball, bro. He's all on the internet being like, bro, Democrats are crazy, but I'm a Democrat. I like them. Right? I have no problem. Listen, guys, I have no problem with how anyone votes here. All right? Like, not really. Live your life. As long as what you are, like, in fact sticking up for, you're voting for, you're putting your name on, has the ability to affect your family and not, destroy your family, meaning that you are, in fact, loaning your vote out to causes that really have nothing to do with your household, do you. I like the fact that you are, an independent thinker. Let's just say this here. As long as you're not one of those who believe something so staunchly that you start to, besmirch the other individuals that may think differently than you, then I don't know. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. Don't live in an echo chamber, guys. Like, have the ability to definitely, in fact, kind of sit down and listen to other people talking, at least. You don't have to accept it, right? But I mean, listen, we're human, bro. Would you imagine if everyone thought like you? If that makes any sense here, right? Like, I mean, I said, like I've been saying for years now on YouTube here, some people in the comments are like, yeah, I agree with you so much. Some people are like, I like you, but I don't really agree with everything you say. That's fine. That's a good thing. To be honest here, I want you to find fault in my words, right? Because it means that you are at least critically thinking and not being a yes man. Don't be a yes man, right? Don't do that. Don't be a yes woman, man. They, them. Don't be one of those people, bro. Live your life. Be happy. Okay? And be exactly who you are at all times. But again, this video here just screams loudly the literal state of our union and why we are so fractured currently. How do we fix this here, bro? Everyone needs to just go to the middle. I'm telling you. Like, I mean, I get it. We're in a time where the algorithm basically dictates what you're going to see next. So it's very easy for you to fall into the realm of an echo chamber unless you purposefully, I don't know, don't seek it out. I think you should. I think you should seek out different opinions. You know, you don't want to be coddled every day, because what happens when you're coddled? You become weak. All right, don't become weak, my guys and six girls and theys and thems. Don't do that. All right. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly. If you guys are new here, please like and subscribe. And in the meantime,